everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Best of Football. I know you're catching up with what's happening in Europe and the rest of Africa, and of course, the rest of the world in football. But today, matters arise, major issues concerning the continued growth, development, and progress of our football will be our main focus. I have with me as co-host Ojekere. Hi, Oje, as usual. Oje, welcome to the
Thank you very much, Dudu. Nice to be here as always.
Okay, and of course, at my left this time is Jide, alias Lejide. Jide?
It's nice to be back again.
Okay, we're here and we have the privilege of having as guests a very fine gentleman. Well, part of my sentiments, he's been my brother for nearly 40 years. Mr. Kojo William, one-time chairman of the Nigerian Football Federation when it was doing his job. Kojo, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
All right, Kojo, I know it's not usually easy to get you to face cameras or talk on issues, but there are very serious issues concerning our football now. And we can't look beyond a former president of the NFA to discuss the issues concerning leadership, crisis of structures, and in fact, the whole issue of trust concerning the NFF. Now, what is your take on this recent developments?
Well, thank you. So first thing is, I would say it's always been there, and it's not changed. You talk about football federation. Is it federation football or association football? It's supposed to be association football.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's one on the side. Number two, all the statutes and the laws and everything that evolves around our football today is foreign to our football. It's not what we have developed ourselves, what we've worked in. It's what we've copied from different associations. We don't have proper association football. Is it the so-called association or whatever, states association that is running our football? Guys from ministries? You understand me? Or who are the ones that really run? Is it all the so-called stakeholders that have football clubs in the country? The clubs that are not functioning well in the most corrupt league in the country? Everything about it is corrupt. Everything about it is filthy. So for me, I don't really like going into all the laws and, structures or whatever, because we don't have it. It's all a facade. So, yeah.
Well, Kojo, there's a public outcry against the Guso board.
Yeah.
That some people think we've lost the rights to be there. They want to come back and they will say, no, you can't come back for X, Y, Z reasons. What is your position?
Yeah, well, my position is this. It's been running for a long time. I believe it's time for us to look at it objectively and see how, these guys, how a total reform, a total restructuring will take place. I think they have to strip that FA federation, strip it in totality, hold on to the elections, hold on for a while, no elections, look into how it will be restructured. You understand me? And then they can come for elections after. I don't know when the tenure ends. I've not been really following but really let the tenure ends or let them resign. But I know they won't want to resign because one thing they always say is always been that, even from the previous board, is, FIFA will talk. FIFA will come up with something. FIFA will come up with a hammer. But you will say FIFA will come into it. They will throw a hammer at them. But you still collect money from government. Do you understand? You still go to the federal government to collect money, billions of naira. Then you also have, one thing I want to tell you, In the last 8 years, they collected over $100 million. Has it been accounted for? No. In the history of football, no board has ever collected that kind of money or received that kind of money. What did they do with all that money? You understand? Did they ever account for it? No. I remember they set up a committee last time. I was involved. And that was when I said I will never be involved in any reforms or ideas or anything because this guy's goofed. You understand me? Even the minister himself compromised. You understand? I don't want to start mentioning names, but whoever was in charge then compromised. You understand me? So it's still the same old trash. It's the same old game, same old song, same old, you understand me? So for me, every time, why do we always talk about, oh, should this go? Should that happen? I think it's time we look at things objectively and say enough is enough. You know?
Gentlemen, you've heard Mr. Williams. Your reaction?
Yeah, well, like he said, everything he said is can be said to be fact. We see these things all the time. Unfortunately, it's constantly recurring. It never seems to go away. These conversations have been had for over 15 years. We're still having them in 2026. And like he said, until we decide to break everything into pieces and start it and start rebuilding again, we'll have this conversation again in 4 years. Like, it's almost guaranteed.
Absolutely.
There are two issues I have with this situation. Is there are two crises in codes. There's a performance crisis, which is what people see. Performance of all the national teams. There's a political crisis, which is also a governance crisis.
Yeah.
People don't see that part. It's there. And that's actually the basis of all the problems we have.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
She's just talking about the performance.
Yeah.
So which means if the team starts performing better, the noise will stop.
Yeah.
We forget the other
The
issues.
governance crisis is there. So we need to
That's a key factor. That's why I said we need to strip it. And we need to start from the scratch. We should be able to say, look, from the grassroots, the states, or whatever, associate. Now we have to go back and say, hey, listen, we need to put the proper perspective as to how we can start up proper association football. We have to let FIFA know. I've worked with FIFA for over 10 years. I was a member of FIFA committee for over 10 years, almost 12 years. So there's no big deal about sitting with them, looking at them, and telling them, look, this has not worked for us. We need to get this thing in the right state, in the right perspective, and make sure it works. Now, like he said, governance. Where you have a bunch of characters that truly don't understand what football administration is, then you're in trouble. Where you have a meat seller that is running your football and says he knows about technical and he's in charge of your technical football or whatever, then you're in trouble. You are in deep trouble. He has no clue. So it's not about, look, we have to go away from all these things. Let's call a spade a spade. What we're practicing today, the so-called federation with the big names or president of football federation, that's all trash. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to move us anywhere. So it's time for us to say, hey, it's the people's game. Nigerians have to stand up. The government have to stand up and say, you know what? We've had enough of your rubbish. It's time we clean this place up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, government funds football in Nigeria. No, that's even a child knows that government funds football, and I mean, a lot of figures have been mentioned, all the time.
Could you mention accountability that way?
Yeah, accountability. Yeah,
we don't seem to know what's happening to the money.
We don't seem to know. And when questions are asked, even when government who brings the money, decides to ask, then just like he mentioned, FIFA, the
not only FIFA. You even have they even use, what do you call it? The security apparatus to oppress the opposite. Yeah, I'm telling you. They bring in these guys with guns and everything. A lot has gone on in this country. See, let me tell you, like he said, all you see is, okay, we're not playing well. But it goes beyond that. There's more to it. The foundation itself is rotten. You understand me? Yeah. So if we don't clean that up, we're never going to get right. Another thing I want to say here is this. Maybe we'll go into that later. The most successful team you've had, or we've had in this country, we ran it from Goriola Street. We ran that team. I'm sorry, I will have to say that today. My father took the national team of Nigeria single-handedly, spent millions of dollars, and the military government then backed him up. You understand me? They brought in the coaches. We're paying them salaries direct from the company. We're doing all that. You understand me? Even the tours that we used to send them in Papendale, we paid for it. He paid for it. And then you still had the press that were totally against it, right? You were the old man there. They were totally against it. They were against it. They wrote all sorts, but still we were successful. We were able to qualify for the first time. And in the world rankings, we went number 5. So why are we fooling ourselves? And then you know what? That structure down the line, within 5 years or 8 years, they destroyed that structure. Why? Because of the foundation. You know what we did then was that to take it away. But when you take those things away, you've just sort of scraped the surface. You script about the foundation. How? What's going to happen? Those clowns are going to come back and destroy it. Because that's all they know. They don't know any better. And then the key aspect, you see, which I keep saying, is that monetary aspect, accountability. Where so much money comes from FIFA and government itself are not, they keep telling government, no, you can't be involved. You should keep quiet. Oh, we will report you to FIFA. Well, that's absolute trash.
Interference.
Blackmail.
And all that. Yeah. You know, you who the hell are they to tell government that, if you come into it, if you ask the square, but you will go to government to ask for money. Billions of naira. And you don't even account for it.
80 to 85% of funds the NFA
government
spend is government money. Therefore, government is a stakeholder.
Yeah, big time. And those are the things that has to come into the restructuring aspect where you're going to come and say, hey, listen, whether you guys like it or not, except you don't want government involved. If you want to do pure association football, we will. But for you to come and tell us, and there's no way they can kick government out of it because it's Nigeria's interest. The people are interested. People want to see. That's the unifying factor in this nation. You understand me? I had an elderly person, the former chief of air staff. He was telling me recently, he says, Kojo, what are you going to do? He's an elderly person. He says that's the only thing that moves them, that brings everybody together. That is it not just watching foreign football, but our national teams can. Look, before I go further, let me tell you, if there's any team that will win the World Cup in this country, it's a female team. They have everything, but poor management. The monies they're supposed to put into those girls invest, they steal. I will say it per blank. They steal the monies, they bring poor coaches. I mean, what kind of jargon, trash is that they give to those girls? Those girls are supposed to be world champions by now. It's so upsetting, off-putting that this country would allow such mediocrity, right? I'm telling you today, if there's any team before the male team to win the World Cup, it's the girls. And we still got what it takes to do it for them. So, see, the bottom line is these guys don't even understand it. Oh, it's not about winning AFCON or what's it, WAFCON or whatever. I don't care whatever you call it. And then you celebrate in the presidency, and that's the end of it. Where's continuity? What have you got planned for the next 5 years? That team, the 94 team, it took us 5 solid years to build it. Am I right or wrong? It took us 5
From
From
years.
1990.
Yeah. From 89.
89. From 89. The first
WAFCON
Nations
tournament.
Cup we went, we lost the first game about 5-0 or something.
5-1.
5-1.
Algeria.
Yeah. And then still we played the finals.
Yeah.
Amakachi was telling me the other day that the old man came to them in the draft and said, don't worry, you guys are going to go. And you know yourself. Because, see, there was that drive, the passion. You know, when something runs through you, when that passion is there. But these guys don't care. You understand me?
They also don't know.
Unfortunately, they don't know.
They are there for something different.
Well, something different. When you can't account for over $100 million, what happened? No, let's talk about it. We have all the facts. They were protected. But I don't care. They can do whatever they want to do. But the thing is that enough is enough. We have to build our football. It's time. Nobody can stand and come and tell me any trash. From the Sports Commission to the Football Federation, they're all corrupt. Period. That's it. They're all the same. They are all the same. But it's time that rubbish stops in this country.
Okay, gentlemen, we've raised the issues of poor governance, no foundation, the statutes are faulty, and we've all agreed that, in Kojo's words, let's strip that place down and deconstruct and reconstruct. But the outgoing board, should they be part of this? Any of them or members, should they be part of this restructuring?
I don't think so. He mentioned resignation, earlier, and it's something that is strange in, this part of the world. I mean, after Italy's whole, drama, the FA resigned. The coach resigned, the FA resigned, they all resigned, and it's like a fresh start for Italy. Even when Maldini came in and tried to do something, he was, brought in, was to bring in. I can't remember the coach now. He also resigned and said, look, if you don't allow me work the way I want to work, I'll resign. And Paolo Maldini left the job and moved on. But coming back to Ross now, Julian mentioned performance. Of course, over the time, we use performance to cover a lot of things. Now, performance, we can't even perform again. The women's team used to cover a lot for us. Now, our secrets again all open because they didn't also qualify, and so we're back to this resignation. Do we resign here?
Jide?
Yeah. Back to your question. From a governance point of view, there's no reason why anybody in this current board should superintend any electoral process. Because it takes you back to the issue of Nigeria already, which is what you see in all these states elections, political elections now. If the people who are in power are the ones superintending elections in those states, you already know what the outcome is going to be. The same thing with the NFL. Yes, you cannot, because we've had stories of electoral congresses where monies have changed hands, and this is very foreign decisions that have happened overnight, even while the Congress is even going on over the years. So if you allow any of these people from this current board gets that deeply involved, you know what's going to happen. And like I said, we'll be back at this again in 4 years.
Okay, we will take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the some specifics, with the statutes and its strength, whether it really has that energy or it does not have.
Best of football.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is the best of football, and we are about to look at. Let me ask our guests, Kojo, what is possible in the process of deconstructing the FA? Because some people are going to start telling you, "Oh, FIFA would ban us," and I think differently. Having been chairman of the FA as was, and being a member of FIFA.
Yeah.
Is this? What is the role position?
Oh, well, see, if the Nigeria government decides that, listen, we need to restructure, okay, then it's all about negotiation, sitting around the table with FIFA and telling them, look, give us another few months or year, to structure this, put it back in proper perspective. But with, you can give us one or two persons from your end to see how we're running, how we're going to put it in. And then if FIFA will say, okay, go ahead. They're not going to stop the process. Knowing quite well that our government, that Nigeria government itself spends.
It's a major or the biggest
Stakeholder. Nigerian government is the biggest stakeholder. So nobody can tell them that. Once you have the right people talking to FIFA will listen. FIFA will do what they have to do. It's about negotiations, sitting back. Of course, government will not want to hold on to running the football. Of course, they want proper association football, but we have to get the right people in there. Of course, it's never 100% perfect, but we have to be able to get it get it in the right steed, put it in the right direction. So that's basically it. That doesn't stop. FIFA cannot stop the process. Cannot tell Nigerian government, no, you can't get involved. No.
Jide,
Yeah, there are precedents for what he's just said, actually.
Ghana is one. It happened in Ghana.
Happened in Chad.
It happened in Chad.
Pakistan
Yeah.
as well. FIFA allowed the inauguration of the normalization committee for the period they needed to resolve.
Yeah, for the period, yeah.
So, it's for, like I mentioned that in a previous episode, it's always just funny how we allow this blackmail that is used all the time of FIFA can ban. It makes it look as though FIFA is a dictatorship and you can't have conversations with human beings that are there. Like he said, there's absolutely no reason why you cannot set a team that will have a conversation and negotiate. Of course, these things will be time bound. Nobody will allow you to have an indefinite period. But if you have milestones that FIFA is giving you, how soon you need to do these things, what do you need to achieve by this time? Football is like life, in all honesty. We negotiate every day in life. We negotiate in our families, negotiate in our workplaces, negotiate all over the place. And we still make progress. So these negotiations can be hard. They're just regular discussions. And if you give timelines and you give guarantees of what you will do by certain periods, it's not impossible to do. But the point is that the people who benefit from all of these things do not want it to ever stop. So it is the golden goose that they have, and whatever it takes for them to maintain the status quo, they will continue to do.
OJ, FIFA Article 8, subsection 2 provides for a normalization committee. What process would this require?
Yeah, again, the former president just said it. Some persons will go talk to FIFA. FIFA is not one. Even FIFA itself is under pressure. Talking about Infantino and the president. So they're talking to people. They're trying to talk to people to understand their own position. So the same way we should also talk to them to understand our own position. Yeah. This is what we're facing. The pulse everywhere. People are not happy with the board, and so we need to do X, Y, Z. There should be some changes, some reforms, and so people need to engage them. It's all about engagement. Jide talked about, what we do at work, as family. So it's all about football engagement. And I know how FIFA would not listen to us. Nigeria is a big country. We failed to qualify for the World Cup. It's end on the pitch anyway. But Nigeria remains a big country. During his tenure, we're number one. And we'll still make reference to that.
Yeah.
That time when we're number 5, on the rankings. And today, we're not even near. That's global. We're number 5 globally. Now, even in Africa, we're struggling. And so that conversation must come up. And this is the right time for that conversation to come, for us to get it right from, the political crisis you talked about, the grassroots, from building. If we have to build properly, they will build up from scratch again. And it is this conversation with FIFA that will also guide us. There's no way, Nigeria spends, if FIFA doesn't know, maybe this is the time to also let FIFA know that government spends X, Y, Z, and government has spent this on Nigerian football. So you must listen to us.
Kojo, governments, in so many ways is involved because the state FA chairman and secretaries,
They're all from state government.
They're all from appointees from government. So, how did this thing about government interference start? How can you call a major stakeholder,
major funder,
a third funder? How can you call a major funder a third party? So, Jide?
It's just semantics, really. But semantics used as it suits different.
Yeah, the yardstick.
The people who use this have reasons why they use it. Like you said, the statutes as they currently are provides for a 44-member Congress. Of the 44, about 39, 40 are government appointees technically. So the government runs the NFF, even as of today. So it's funny, it's a bit of a contradiction. If the government is that deeply inserted in the affairs of football, how is it then that the government is interfering in something that they control already? Doesn't make any sense. But then again, like he alluded to something. It is unfortunately just about self-aggrandizement. This whole thing, that's all it is about.
Thank you.
It's not about the football. In all honesty, they don't really care about the football because the majority of them don't even know about the football. But like every elective position in Nigeria, people go there for what they can get out of it, first and foremost. And football, because for a very long time, football does not have accountability in Nigeria. It's one of the easiest places to steal money in this country today. He mentioned figures that the government has given to the NFF over how many years, and nobody has asked about those monies. Even the FIFA Forward projects, the monies, we've heard figures of $80 million in 2 years or in 3 years. Nobody has asked about the money. So it's the easiest way to steal money. And because everybody goes there for their own benefit, it's like, they're eating themselves from inside. So, it's about the survival of the fittest. The one who has the most connections, the ones who has the loudest people in the media, the ones who has, all of those things are the ones who will win. And we're already seeing it again.
Playing out.
Was it 3 episodes ago? We spoke about seeing Gusao's campaign poster. Just after the World Cup, for a country that for someone that your country did not qualify for the World Cup, and you are the head of the FA, and you're already looking for another 4-year term. Like we say on the streets, these people don't rate us at all. It's like you guys can do whatever you want to do, and then the rest is.
Well, Kojo, if a process of talking to FIFA is to be initiated, it will come through the Sports Commission, right?
Yeah.
Speaking for government.
Yeah, from government.
Because now, the man, the leadership of the Sports Commission
He's
is
part of
talking differently.
Yeah.
It says somebody who's number 2 there says, why are we complaining that we didn't go to the World Cup? It's not our birthright. I mean,
Who
I
said
felt,
that?
Olokpade, the DG, I found this
It shows
scandalous.
his mentality. Like he said, self-aggrandization. All these guys don't really mean well. They don't have the drive. You see, it's like what we're going through in this country today. See, everybody feels they have the right to do whatever they want to do, and nobody has the right to question them. How would you make such statement?
I was shocked.
How would you make such statement? That's so bush and that's crass. In fact, if we have a real solid government, that guy should be sacked. It's an insult to the nation.
I'm like, this man should be giving directives to the Secretary General to write
Immediately.
to FIFA that, look, we are inviting you to a normalization committee. Send us 2 reps or thereabout. Let's, repackage this. OJ, what do you think?
No, what normally happens is that government will select those that will go. You go, you have an appointment, you go to FIFA, to Zurich, sit with them around the table, and then discuss it. It doesn't take time. Within a day, you sort it out. And FIFA will never say no, because now this is government incentive. It's what government wants. And that's the main funding factor of football in the country. So, but like you said, if the Secretary General is not doing that, then orders has to be given to him from the top. Well, I don't care. Otherwise, he leaves the seat.
Okay.
The problem,
But the problem, the problem is that everything is all evolved. You understand me? I remember when they set up a elders committee. I happened to be part of it. And then I remember, I don't know why they call it the elders committee. I'm not the elders, so that's so stupid. They all pack themselves, all these characters. And we did our final report, and we were getting calls from even the presidency. Some people were threatening us, telling us that what were we doing. I'm telling you, they were like, no, you can't do this. This guy, even the guy running the sports commission, the chairman, was part of it. He was worried because he had compromised. They all compromised. You understand me? It's a vicious cycle. You understand me? So for us to really want to get this thing going, we have to sit back and say, you know what? Enough is enough. It's not a joke anymore because it's affecting everyone. You understand me? You can clown with certain things, but if we don't do that, we're never ever going to get it right. Like he said, it will always be the same thing. And I'll tell you, there's no way our football can ever rise again until we put those things in place.
Jide?
Yeah, well, what he said was what I was going to say. That so you have the NSC, former chairman, Shehu, was in the NFF for a long time. Olofade has been in or around our football for a long time. So more or less, it's more of the same.
They're the same guys.
It's the same people who have been involved for years are still people who's involved. Or they just stepped up to higher pedestals now. So it's difficult to expect anything really different from these people who have been more or less the same people doing the same things for years. It's almost impossible. And I remember with the episode you asked, but relating to FIFA, I think that's a valid question to ask for the NFF now. Do we want a football person as NFF chairman, or do you want somebody who is more business oriented? Because in the honest truth, the way people run their businesses, there's corporate governance, there's accountability. There are certain things you cannot do in a proper organization, or you can do them in the NFF. So if the football people experiment is not working, maybe it's time we tried something different. Because the football people are, like you said, heavily compromised in this entire thing, maybe we'll go outside the football industry and see somebody else that can make a difference.
OJ?
Okay, I think it's one of the questions you were to ask at some point. Jide just threw that up. Should the next NFF president be a core football person, a businessman, a politician? I mean, what leadership profile? Again, it will take different conversation to get to that level. But I think the first things first is attacking the issue, which is what we expect government to do. In this case now, the Sports Commission. And like I said in one of the previous episodes too, the chairman called for reforms. And this is becoming clear now that we need...
Which chairman now?
The Sports Commission chairman.
Okay.
Talked about reforms. I mean, reforms in the system. And it's clear now that we need these reforms if we need them. But one of the reforms is the fact that we must get to this normalization committee. We must talk to FIFA about... I mean, that's first things to do. Otherwise, we'll just be revolving around the same circle. Get them understand why we must tackle the crisis that we have in Nigerian football right now.
Kojo, is this back-to-back failure to qualify for the World Cup, is it what is triggering the call for a new NFA board, or it goes deeper than that?
I think it's because of the back-to-back failure. Because like he said earlier, the fundamentals are not looked at if we're doing well.
Yeah.
You understand me? But it's all a patched up job. So, but when it comes to proper management, see, managing national teams, you have to have, like you're now talking about going back to accountability, going back to management, having the right people, the right business mind, the structures, organizational skills, people that has a vision. They can project for the next 10 years, or this is where we're going, this is where we are. We don't have that. You understand me? So until we're able to put those things in place, we're not going anywhere. So we can always have that jump, that jack out of the box. We qualify for the Nations Cup, or we get to the quarterfinals and we celebrate, and that's the end. But the thing is, what do you do in the next 4 years after? You understand me?
That brings us to the issue of the structure of the FA Congress. And because you see, the outcry, we had ex-international football legend Segun Odegbami, respected writers like Ikedi Siguzo, even Yakubu Mohammed, a former DG of NTA who played good football at schoolboy level, saying, as long as you have people who are not coming up with manifestos that will show technical development, funding, and they're ready to show integrity. And the present structure of the so-called statutes keeps a lot of people out of the place. So if we want to really be honest with ourselves, and like Gide said, do we want people from outside the current group? If that is what we want, will this congressional structure allow it?
I've told you that the structure we have is foreign to us. It's not ours. We have to develop our own now. What will benefit the country? Do you understand me? We have to sit around the table and say, hey, listen, it's part of the reforms. And the reforms that has to open up and make FIFA understand the fundamentals, the structure, the default, that we need to put those things in place. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. Now, you're talking about if you have guys from state governments, different state football associations, look at them. Have you been to the state association? Have you seen their offices? Have you seen how they run the place? It's like a pigsty. And then you expect them to have that down their heads? Football is a world order. It's an international thing. It's not a Yalamala system or Alakara or whatever. I don't care. It's an international thing. And it's look at us. Look at this country today. What do? We watch foreign teams. We have Nigerians supporting big teams abroad. I don't want to mention teams because I don't support any team. I just watch good football. But look at the standards. If you go in there, you see how they run football. You understand me? Now you have to think, how can we get at least to a certain level? You understand me? How can we get there? How can we go away from what we were doing in the 60s? Even the 60s and 70s was better.
Even up to the 80s.
Even up to the 80s, it was better.
It was better.
So what happened to us? We threw it to the dogs. And now it's time for us to sit back and say, it's not about witch hunting anybody. It's about stating the facts, putting things in the right stead, making sure we do the right thing, putting the right people there, all the way down to youth development, all the way down to the league.
Yep.
To the league, the most corrupt league in the world. Where you have a coach, a referee, diamond say shubu shubu, and then you fall and he blows the final whistle and he gets in and he tells you to play penalty. It shows how corrupt our football is. Do you understand me? I'll give you an example. I remember when I was a chairman, I remember once the Secretary General came to me to tell me they had a team, under 17 team, already in camp in Kaduna. So I said, what was the criteria? How did you get them? Oh, he said, that they had done screening and everything. I'm like, oh, really? I said, okay, you know what? Tomorrow, bring all the guys from Kaduna. I want to see them. So they brought them in. If you see the guys, some of them were already 17-year-old guys. They looked like they had the hair on their legs was like sandpaper. If you touch that thing, they were like nails. They were old guys. 40-year-olds. That's how nasty it is. In a great country where you have such talents, where today you look at world order, look at football, you see 17-year-olds playing top-level football, and then you still go and bring old men to play, and we support that rubbish. I watched even a private under-17 competition recently, and I had to tell the guys, I said, where did you get all these old men? This is old. And then you know what? All the big teams that won, from Bendel Insurance, they had older players. So when they were giving medals, they had to bring the boys that came fourth. They were young. Those are the guys we needed.
Yeah.
But they were celebrating those old men. So you understand me? That's total. Our system is messed up. If we still continue with our style of football, what we do today, we're not going anywhere. So when a guy is 30, a guy is...
and he's playing under 17.
He's playing under 17.
When is he going to play for Eagles?
Yeah. And then you're expecting more from him. No. It's very unfair. It's not good. It's not good for us.
Yeah, many years ago, must be more than 10 years, a state football association told me they were coming to play a youth tournament in Lagos. They said, Dudu, please arrange for accommodation and feed it. So I got them somewhere in Surulere, walking distance from
the stadium.
my sports bar so that they could come, to have their meals at decent prices, because I assumed they didn't have enough money to pay for meals in bigger places. All right. One of the days the boys came, my friends were sitting out there. They asked me, Dudu, who are these? I said, oh, they're under 17 from so and so state. He said, no, Dudu, this can't be true. I said, no, they're under 17. When they come out, you ask them. So as the boys were filing out on their way out, my friend Obashogan is late now. He said, boy, come here. How old are you? Oga, they never give us age. Oh. When they give us age, I go tell you. You see, what happens in the NFA is that they recruit the players.
Yeah.
Or we call it screening. Recruit the players and give them serial passports. One is 3 days, OJ is 3 days older than Jide. Jide is 1 week older than Kojo. Kojo is 2 days older than. It's not possible. And FIFA takes us seriously, and that we have come with honesty, whereas we are look, our action is disgrace.
If you look at football in the 70s, 60s, 70s, I would even rather talk about the 60s, the 70s. The 80s was a bit going to be.
Yeah.
You would always know the boys that will play in the senior national team down the line. So you had the academicals. So it's from secondary school. You already knew the ones that will play. You see them grow. It's the same thing in athletics. You see, there was that progressive thing. Down the line today, it's nothing like he said, they just recruit them. And even within the FA, you have the guys that sponsor these guys. They want to sell players. That's what they all think about in this country. I want to sell this one. This one has to go to Europe. They don't care how obscure, the obscure teams they send those boys to. They put them into slavery. They get a player's license. The FA will sign it off and send them away. Old guys. Have you ever seen? Don't let's start exposing ourselves. But the truth is, it's time, country, like he said, and you said, it's time we look at it objectively and put it in we need to get it right.
Okay.
We need to.
We'll take a break. When we come back, the rest of the program.
Best of football.
Welcome back. This is still the best of football, and we have as our very special guest a former chairman of the NFA, as it really was, Mr. Kojo Williams. And his bed is hard. I know he's held back quite a bit, but we've heard a lot from him too on what the issues have been and how we have fared so far. Well, obviously, poor performance at under 17, under 20, the female team, and then, of course, the Super Eagles has triggered a lot of concern, a public outcry, and instead of resigning, the NFF board led by Ibrahim Gusso wants to come back, and stakeholders are saying, what? No. A big no. And we want to chart the way forward, because otherwise we will be watching the World Cup 2030 from home, and we don't want to. And then for people like us who live on selling spots, advertising spend goes the other way, and we are just staring. Mr. Williams, more easily, I'm more comfortable saying Kojo. Kojo, one honest message to delegates to the Congress first. What would you tell delegates to the next Congress?
Which Congress? The one coming up now?
Well, whenever it's constituted.
Whenever it's constituted.
Yes.
But not this Congress coming up.
Well,
Because I don't. If you tell me to address the Congress that's coming up, then I'll be talking to the air because they have nothing to offer. Yeah, why would I want to address that? Why do I want to talk to them? Because they've got nothing to offer. They've got nothing to offer. So why would I address them? As what?
Well, if we want you to tell them what your expectations from them are.
I don't expect anything from them because they're a failure. And they're never ever going to do anything right.
No, but definitely we'll have Congress at some point.
See, I've told you already, the government needs to look inward and say, see, you guys take a back seat. Let's restructure our football.
Yes.
You understand?
But in the process of restructuring.
No, in the process, let there be a committee, or what did we call it again?
Normalization
committee. Let them put a normalization committee. That's the best move. That would be the best thing for this country. A normalization committee. Just a few people. Just look. You don't need to play politics with it. It's a straight talk.
Yeah, but even the normalization committee will recommend, a new Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah. That will
A
come.
new Congress.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's that Congress that will be recommended that I want you to send a message to. What your expectations?
Well, I will expect a Congress that will have people with vision, people with clarity, people that genuinely want to move Nigerian football forward, that have the depth, the technical ability. See, the business, also the business acumen, you understand me? You will need all those people in there. And it's very easy to put those things together. It's our country. This is not anybody's country. This is ours. This is our nation. And we should be able to put it together. We get the right people there. Huh? Yeah, I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be, I'm not saying it's going to be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
But it'll be far better than what we have today.
Jide?
Yeah, well, because I remember a few years ago, there was a committee set up to create a governance framework for the NFF. That committee had people like Shea Akiwumi, all kinds of people there. They did the work, submitted a report, and the report was thrown somewhere. Nobody has seen the report since that report was written. So what that tells me is that there's a deep-seated, deep-rooted problem, and it starts from the top, and it will require the top to fix.
Yeah.
The only entity that can resolve Nigeria's football issue is the government. Nobody else can do it, in all honesty. Because to a large extent, the government created the problem. So they are going to have to resolve the problem. But everybody in football in Nigeria today got there by virtue of government, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And many of them report to government one way or the other. So except the government decides to be honest about the problems that they have and what they want to do about it, it's not likely to, nothing much is likely to happen. Whenever that Congress is done, there's not going to be any significant change. Except if after we've given ourselves time to think and time to reset, time to rebuild, we now ensure that there's no politics involved in who gets into those congresses. If politics continues to be used as a yardstick for who gets what position, we'll be back to square one in no time.
OJ?
I think the other thing is what will be the shape of the Congress. I mean, that's the former chairman said something like that. What would be the shape of the Congress? Because, like he said, if that Congress, if that shape, is not worked on, then it means we're just talking about some of the same again, meaning that another FA chairman somewhere will just, I mean, if you say, okay, good, so you take a step aside, another FA chairman steps in. So it's the same of the same, FA. If you look at all the FAs, and sincerely, he talked about, going to their offices, how do they run their FAs, what do they do? Maybe one or two out of, I know we're talking about 36 plus the FCT Abuja. So if we go with that same setup, then it means we're just getting the same thing all over again.
How
So
about an expanded Congress?
that's
I mean, from 44 to
100 plus.
65 or something.
That's not the
includes-
problem. That's not even an issue. All those things can be
Yeah.
looked at. But the bottom line is how it's going to be professionally put together. With
Well,
sincerity, like you
if
said.
you create constituencies that are, coming with new faces. I mean, we don't know how much the ex-footballers, past administrators, businessmen, because with corporate presence there, the issue, because somebody can bring corporate money to you and you won't account for it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But they have to be in there to be able to ask questions.
Look, I remember we had gotten, I was going to get a National Football Center together. And the MD of, a group MD of NNPC then, Mr. Gareth Obaseki, had agreed that he was going to get the oil majors. We're going to put in $100 million. Then we'd worked it out. The day I was removed, Mr. Obaseki looked and says, Kojo, I'm not putting that money in there anymore. That was the end of it. $100 million. Then, 99, $100 million. That was the end of it. Yeah, because see, you're not going to invest anything in where mediocrity is practiced, where you don't have say. So why would you want to invest that kind of money? You understand me? And they also want to see. They want to be involved as well. It's only fair.
Yeah.
It's only fair. They have to be involved. Corporate bodies have to be involved. They have to know what they're using their money for, what they're expending their money to. So you cannot just say, hey, listen, shut up. We've collected your money. Now we're in charge. It doesn't work like that. There has to be transparency. Everything has to be transparent. You understand? Now, that has not happened. And that's why all these guys have taken off. The other aspect is, you see, I've said a lot of things we're doing as foreign to us. We try to copy the English FA. We bring all the rules and laws from. We don't have the capacity. We have to look at what we have and build around it. All this pro league you're talking about, we don't have the capacity. The standards are low, you understand me? We need to come back. We have to look inwards and say, hey, listen, we don't want more than this. This is how we want it. The referees are going to be of this standard. They have the professionals. They must have a job, whether they're doctor or whatever. They have to, all these things have to be in place. And this is what we're going to be paying you per game. If you're paying a real professional guy, you give him a job. Will one bushman come and give him chicken money to blow rubbish against? Where's that going to happen?
Yeah.
You understand me? All those things have to be put in. And then you got to look at, hey, how do we create a real good professional league? Well sponsored, where we could bring in sponsors. You understand? Even if there are only 8 teams that will play around that period of time, let it be. And then we can build up down the line. Don't let us start copying countries, all this other. We don't have the capacity yet. We're not even exposed. We haven't got that to that level yet. Now, the other thing is, we've got all the professional players that have played abroad, that have excelled. We just bring some of them in. Not the rabble-rousers, but the ones that really got it. You understand me? You have to be able to bring them in to work with you. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you have to look at the medical, you have to look at different things. Not where you're using pure water to rub on people's legs or play footballers' legs when they drop playing a professional league with pure water. I beg your pardon, where does that happen? It's only in this country. So when you're using pure water to treat a player, what do you expect them to do in the boardroom?
Oh dear.
That's why I call it alamala football. So you understand what I mean.
All right.
Yeah.
Jide, one last message before we go.
Yeah, we just hope so I think the summary of everything you said today is that we need to find the courage to do the right thing. Courage because everybody knows what the right thing is.
Yeah.
But for selfish interests and all the other things, we refuse to do the right thing. Hopefully somebody somewhere finds the courage and then we start from there.
OJ?
Yeah, for me, hit our comment section. Of course, let's know what you think. We've said a lot of things here. So if you're watching us, just hit our comment section.
Well, we want to thank Mr. Kojo Williams for your time. And we hope that we can, look at today's conversations again and see an improvement in a few months' time. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, that will be it for the program this week. Don't forget to hit our comments section and let's know what you think, like Oji said, of our program so far. I'm sure this is episode 12 and we're almost getting to the end of the first season. I hope the best of football has been your favorite. From everybody here, we'll say have a pleasant week.